Hello, this is John Self from Maine ST Magic. I'm just greeting you from Universal CityWalk Orlando. It is annual pass appreciation times here at Universal Orlando. They usually have a little bit in January where they do something, then they have something at the beginning of May, and then they have a long season in the middle of August all the way to the end of September, which is really, that's the peak perk thing. However, having said that, we have a few things that we might want to mention that they are offering here, and we're going to have a Voodoo Doughnut. One of the things that Universal does during the pass holder appreciation times, and even when it's not pass holder appreciation time, is they'll have a magnet, and yes, it's about they're going to need a bigger boat. All pass holders going to the exit to the Jimmy Fallon attraction in Universal Studios Florida receive a annual pass magnet, and also for this session, they also have a pin which is themed to Stardust Racers over at Universal Epic Universe. So you receive that this month. But one of the other things that always appeals to me is, how do I say this? I enjoy the food. This is John Self at Universal CityWalk Orlando. That is a part of Universal Orlando Resort. You know it is the area you walk through when you leave the parking garage to head towards Universal Studios Florida or Universal Islands Adventure. I'm on the second floor. It is May 1st at Universal Orlando Resort and everyone else in the world, and it is the beginning of a pass holder perks period in which they have special food items, special discounts, special all these kind of things. Something similar will be happening at Walt Disney World, but let's just be fair for a second. Based on all the pluses of Walt Disney World, Universal Orlando does a lot more for their pass holders than Walt Disney World does. We can argue that another time, it's just a fact. Voodoo Doughnut, every opportunity they get here, they crank out a new donut. So I have gotten one of the new donuts. It is the sweet, I gotta get the right name for you. It's the sweet and salty crunch donut from Voodoo Doughnut. Just like a Gideon's cookie I had earlier today. It's melting. Now it's not really that hot for Florida today. I mean, it's 80 something, but I've noticed a lot of treats are melting in the sun today. It's a sweet and salty crunch donut. It's $4.50 plus tax. Of course, I get my annual pass discount, premier annual pass discount, which is 15% off. I use one of the Mardi Gras cards, so I don't even know what it costs, so I apologize for that. The official menu says yeast donut dipped in Nutella with chocolate hazelnut icing. So it's dipped in Nutella and it's chocolate hazelnut icing. Similar to the Gideon's cookie, spoiler alert, our reviewer is not always pro hazelnut. We will see how this goes. Caramel sauce, Maldon salt, and sugar sprinkles. It also has, sprinkles on top. This is clearly a donut that you're going to need. How do I say this nicely? You're gonna need to use a fork and knife. And I'm gonna get more chocolate on my hands today. Let's see how this goes. Okay, word of advice if you decide to become a content creator or a food blogger or someone who eats food for a living. When you're not sure what you're gonna eat that day, don't wear a predominantly white shirt. No matter how Black Panther it is, don't do it. I don't think this is gonna go well, but let's see. I'm cutting the large donut. It's not as large as an Everglazed donut, but I notice this is larger than normal. It's a yeast donut, which is the style that Everglazed uses over at Disney Springs, if you're unfamiliar with Everglazed. Let me take a bite here once again. It's Nutella, hazelnut icing, caramel, yeast donut. We're gonna see. Insert the Black Panther corksicle, very important, in between bites. I hate to use a word I'm borrowing from a foodie that I respect. So far, this donut is unremarkable. Nothing bad, there's nothing wrong with it. The yeast donut is well prepared, better than what I usually experience at Voodoo Doughnut. Because they're going up against a lot of places in the area, even outside the theme parks that do yeast donuts. That's a tough one. But notice how messy my hands already are. I've had one bite. One bite. Sprinkles are kind of a negligible factor. I'm a big fan of the sprinkle cake donut here, but they're kind of a negligible factor. It's definitely hazelnut and it's definitely caramel in there, but it's just okay. I'm going to take another bite. We'll see how this goes. I feel like I'm making a gigantic mess, so when I send this video to Jeremy, we'll see how this goes. See if he leaves in a gigantic mess on my face. I feel like the little kid and the mom needs to clean their face. Hazelnut flavors there. Nutella, I mean, all the things you're expecting with that, they're there. They're good, but they're not anything special. When I think of Nutella flavor, hazelnut, nut spreads, like I think solid flavor, but nothing that's gonna blow you away. Now, maybe it's because I don't like them as much. Maybe you're someone who finds them to be the best thing around. I think this is good. I just don't think it's gonna, amaze anybody or blow anybody away. This is the epitome of food that a food blogger doesn't want to cover. There's really nothing wrong with it. There's really nothing fabulous about it either. And in case you want to know, when you're doing reviews, you either want it to be terrible or it's the best thing you've ever had. Oh, this was just okay. If I were going to Voodoo Doughnut, especially if I were vegan, I would get the vegan peanut butter and jelly. That's arguably one of the best donuts at Voodoo Doughnut. They have plenty of other donuts that are really good, really well themed. And if you're familiar with Voodoo Doughnut in other areas of the United States, this is a family theme park version of Voodoo Doughnut. There would never have been any controversial Pepto-Bismol donut. Yes, that was a thing. There would not be any controversial donuts that might embarrass you if you took a small child. So they have changed the names to some of those. I mean, this is good, but once again, not anything that's going to amaze anybody. But if you like hazelnut and you're here at Universal Orlando and you want that flavor, this is a good choice. Thanks for watching. Once again, this is what I'm supposed to say as a YouTuber. Never give a blogger a camera. As a YouTuber, I'm supposed to say like, comment, subscribe. It really actually does help the channel. If there's more subscriptions on Jeremy's channel, that would actually help him be able to do more things in the future, which would give you better content. And from that perspective, even though Jeremy and Rhonda love Walt Disney World, they're happy to say bad things about it. So you're at least getting, as honest an opinion as you can possibly get from that perspective. Having said that, Main Street 16 Challenge is coming up. Raising money for Make-A-Wish. Please check out the channel, check out the website, and check those things out. And do me a favor so I don't feel like I'm just writing in the void. Occasionally go and click on a few of the articles there. I hear there's quite a few at MS News. Having said that, that's about all the plugs that I can do. As always, eat like you mean it. Thanks, everyone.